Hello, everyone, and welcome to another elite episode of the Get Authentic with Marcus show. My name is Marques Ogden. On today's episode, we are joined by a longtime great friend, great sponsor, great supporter of our podcast, Dr. Michael Hutchinson, the creator of NeuroGuard Plus. And you know what? Let's bring him on down. How you doing today, Dr. Hutchinson?
Good afternoon
Doing
from
all right.
snowy northern Michigan.
It's not snowing down here in North Carolina. I know Ben is in San Diego, loving the weather out there. It's probably about 20 degrees here, a little bit of rain, a little bit of freezing rain, but no snow, thank God. So we're not like Michigan at this time of year, thank goodness.
We have about a foot,
Oh
but it's
my
a
God.
little warmer today. It's 36 degrees.
Okay, all right. Well, I love this. This is fantastic. Well, Dr. Hutchinson, first question, sir. What does the word authentic/authenticity mean to you?
Means that you don't have any falsity and you're not putting on anything dishonest. Means that you have core principles that you adhere to and that you treat everybody the same.
You know what, ladies and gentlemen? Core principles that you adhere to and treating everybody the same. And that's exactly why Dr. Hutchinson is a dear friend. He treats everybody the same. I've known him for God, going on 5+ years now. He has an amazing product in NeuroGuard Plus. He is a phenomenal dentist and helps his clients with their issues there. But also, he created something very, very special to help people who are doing competitive sports reduce the possibility of getting a concussion or having a type of trauma to the head or brain. Dr. Hutchinson, tell us a little more about yourself. And then, of course, please tell us how and why you started NeuroGuard Plus.
Well, I've been practicing neuromuscular dentistry for 38 years. I see a lot of patients in pain, uh, suffering from TMJ, and temporomandibular joint syndrome is the actual name of it. Lots of headaches, neck pain, migraines, affects your whole body. And that's the important thing, is that your mouth is not separate from your body, it's part of your body. And it affects everything in your body, as well as other parts of your body affects your jaw position and your oral cavity. So I've been doing that for a long time, and something that I did stumble upon when I was treating these patients, it really brought to the forefront that brain health is not just a theory, but it's an actual practical thing, and that's something that's so important, especially in athletes who readily live their healthy brain or non-healthy brain. So um, what really happened is that uh, I was getting reports from my patients that they not only felt better, their pain was gone, but they felt stronger and they had more energy, and they wanted to know what that was all about. And it turned me to from my sports background to trying to figure out how your jaw and your jaw position actually made you stronger and made you
Mm.
better and made you perform better. And later on, we'll talk about that. It was just a coincidence that people began to not have concussions when I used it for performance in sports.
You know, Dr. Hutchinson, I really like what you said about trying to help people alleviate the pain and how your mouth is part of your body. It totally is. It is literally part of your body. It is going to affect things throughout your entire body if you don't take care of it, if it's not in alignment, if it's not in the right position. And I really respect the why behind why Dr. Hutchinson got into this industry, because he was trying to help people that were dealing with intense pain, migraines, headaches, severe trauma, feel better and have a better, quality of life. So, Dr. Hutchinson, let's get now more into NeuroGuard Plus. So, now that you've figured out that it can help you become stronger, perform better, and reduce concussions, Please tell us the type of research that you did to then invent this amazing mouth guard that helps athletes and people in general, again, with better positioning, more strength, more stamina, so on and so forth.
Well, this is something that's right up your alley. You've lived this, and I've studied it, and we both know that the system hasn't changed much with mouth guards and concussions. We're over 70 years of concussive forces in football, and nothing's really changed that much. And one thing I was really concerned about is that my son at the time, back in 2000, was starting to play Pop Warner football, and
Mm.
I wanted him to play great and do his at his best ability, and I didn't want him to have a concussion. And so
Mhm.
uh, I thought when I was getting this feedback, I thought, if I can make Mrs. Jones stronger and feel better and do her work and everything that she wants to do in a much better way. I wonder if I took the 0-9 Lions at the time and increased their strength by 17%, their balance, their stamina. They ended up in the Super Bowl. I'd be a genius. And so that that got me to design something for my son because I didn't want him to get hurt. I didn't want him to get a concussion. And he was really my first athletic appliance patient. And long story short, he never had a concussion playing sports from fifth grade to senior year. And one of the big studies I did was on some boys here in Traverse City, Michigan, a Catholic school, and my son's team. I studied them for 6 years. They had no concussions, those 100 boys. And also, anecdotally, the Catholic school was 25% stronger each year that I tested them, and they went on to win 5 state championships in that period of time. So strength increase by 17% and reduction of concussions down to 0.2%. The jaw position is really the missing link in this whole problem that's been going on for over 85 years. I mean, the current mouth guard that people are wearing, it's just not cutting it. It actually makes it worse, and the concussion rate hasn't changed using that type of mouth guard. But when you take it and reposition your jaw, put it on the lower, it eliminates the chance of concussion down to almost zero. It's the missing link, Marcus.
It truly is, Dr. Hutchinson. And I want to talk more about who's using this. I've known you for a long time. And, I always tell people don't take my word for it. Take the word of people that are using it and are having very good experiences with it. So, Dr. Hutchinson, our podcast has been very fortunate since you were on, many years ago to grow substantially. We get about in between 8 to 10,000 downloads per day. People are just really loving the content around authenticity, realness. So again, Dr. Hutchinson, I want you to kind of share some case studies for our global audience. You told me some very high profile players that from the National Football League that use your mouth guard. There's also been some great times with, like during like certain games, certain players using it against other players, and how players that had NeuroGuard Plus in didn't get a concussion. The guys that did not, unfortunately, did get a concussion. Love to have you talk more about who's using or who has used NeuroGuard Plus, some of the stories around your awesome product.
Well, there's just so many people. Some of the people that come to mind mainly is Daniel Sorensen, who played for the Chiefs for 8 years, 2 Super Bowls. He was a free safety. He wore it for 8 years and never had a concussion in his NFL career. I think that's one of the most phenomenal results because I don't know if you can play free safety in the NFL without ever getting a concussion, and he did. In fact, he told me that he felt invincible wearing it, and he was known for a really hard hitter. So he's probably the poster child of NeuroGuard. We have a current player on Jacksonville, Williams. He was a lineman, and he loves the strength part of it. And of course, he hasn't had a concussion since he's worn it. Ronnie Stanley comes to mind as
Mm-hmm.
well
Mm-hmm.
on the Ravens. He's still playing after these years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tua, I got him fitted back when he was just a senior in high school at the Polynesian Hall of Fame Bowl, and he wore it until Alabama told him he couldn't wear it, and he stopped wearing it, and we all know what happened to Tua. So, um, unfortunately, historical tradition and people's superstitions sometimes get in the way, but there's no question that the anatomical repositioning of your lower jaw has a major effect in whether you get a concussion or not. And this is the new technology. The old technology should be done away with. Uh, Helmets are not enough. They've been improved. They're great. The helmets are great now. But guess what? We don't protect this part of our anatomy at all. In fact, we make it worse with a chin strap in football.
Mm-hmm.
We put your helmet on, we tighten it up, we push your jaw up against your skull, and when you get hit in the face, like an electric current, takes it right to your brain. If you separate that joint, it dissipates the forces away from your brain out to your shoulders and the rest of your body. And that's how you get such a phenomenal reduction in the concussive forces when you use a physiologic jaw positioning mouth guard. And NeuroGuard Plus is the only one, Marcus.
Mm. Ladies and gentlemen, NeuroGuard Plus is the only mouth guard on the market that has proven to help reduce concussions to almost 0%. And it also increases your strength, your stamina. This is just sensational. And ladies and gentlemen, what I tell people all the time is it's so important to be a bold, innovative trendsetter and don't follow the herd when it comes to doing things, especially things that are around sports and in safety. You have to be cutting edge. You have to be bold. You have to be innovative. You have to be creative thinking, because if you don't, or if you're not, you then blend in, and blending in sports and or safety is not where you want to be. So Dr. Hutchinson, I have a question for you. When you think about all the things that NeuroGuard Plus has done, and you've met some amazing people, different sports, football to talking about rugby and other contact sports, hockey, all these other great things, right, Dr. Hutchinson? What would you say has been the blueprint that has allowed you to get to some of these very high profile people? Got to all the time, right, Dr. Hutchinson? There is the why in business, there's the what and the how. So the why is the emotion behind why you do something. Like you said, right, Dr. Hutchinson, you want to help people that are going through intense pain, migraines, all this stuff. Also, you want to help reduce the likelihood of people like your son getting a concussion and then went up to other kids, other sports. So your why is 5 star. So the question I have for you is, what is the blueprint that you have used to help get NeuroGuard Plus in front of more people like Nick Sorensen, to Ronnie Stanley, to Anton Williams, have been wearing NeuroGuard and have had great success in their different careers and career paths?
Well, I think it gets down to the bottom line is that, excuse me, my son, of course, I wanted the best for him. And when I saw the results of that, there's 10,000 concussions that happen every day in the United States. And it hasn't changed in forever. I mean, decades, 6 decades, it hasn't changed. It's always been 20%. And I realized that the reason why it hadn't changed is because we keep doing the same thing over and over again. We don't protect the jaw, which is an integral part. And so, when people get concussions, and I've been fortunate to know, or maybe unfortunate to know that a lot of people have gotten concussions, and that just is tragedy to me. So um, it keeps me going because I want to help people. and I know that when I do, good things happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, when you help people, good things happen. When you really get out and do things for the betterment of people, that's when great things happen. So, Dr. Hutchinson, when you think about NeuroGuard Plus, right? Because you said there hasn't been much that's changed in, 85 years with the mouth guard, right? Can you get a little bit more now tactical for our global audience? Can you please explain how a regular mouth guard fits in your mouth, what happens there, and what it's supposed to protect it from your research, right? Dr. Hutchinson, say what it doesn't protect, then get into NeuroGuard Plus, how it lays out and how it fits with NeuroGuard Plus from that perspective, wearing it, and then what it does to help actually work to reduce concussions, increase strength, and increase damage. So kind of do a compare and contrast when it comes to a regular mouth guard compared to the NeuroGuard Plus. Kind of give more context for our global audience.
Well, if you most people who've played sports, they've worn a mouth guard, especially in contact sports. And why do people hate them? And if you watch the NFL or college or any football games, you'll see, at least in college and in NFL, most of the guys don't wear their mouth guard. Now it's like a fashion statement. I've seen guys like Detroit Lions. There's a guy who puts the mouth guard in the hole of his top of his helmet. Um, it's a fashion statement. There's another guy that wears two of the worst mouth guards that you possibly wear, that pacifier mouth guard. And the problem is they're obstructive, they're uncomfortable on your upper jaw, which is stationary, and it's basically just a thick piece of plastic designed back in 1940s to keep you from banging your teeth together and fracturing them. And that's the only thing that they were ever designed for. And so there wasn't anything about physiology that was used in that. It was just a cushion for your teeth, basically, over bulky. You can't talk with it. You can't breathe. It lowers your oxygen intake. And it's very uncomfortable. And so changing the new technology to a lower is something that we just learned out of treating patients with a disorder or a syndrome, and it just kind of fell out of the sky. That the results were totally the opposite of what you're used to with a historical mouth guard. You can talk with it because it goes underneath your tongue, so there's no obstruction. A study was done to show that you increased your oxygen intake, which is, you can verify this with the high level of athletics that you have gone through, that it helps you perform better. If you can't breathe, your cortisol goes up and you can't perform. And so that's a really important thing as well. But also, it doesn't disrupt the nerves coming from your brain to your muscle fibers. And we found that there's about 17% of your muscle fibers on the average that aren't getting any information. So you think you're doing your maximum, but you're not. You got at least 17% more that you can do if you got the information to every one of your muscle fibers. Um, the most I've ever seen in testing is a person who was 62% stronger after he put his jaw in that correct jaw position. So imagine, uh, Marcus, for you, I'm sorry I didn't invent this before you
Me too.
retired, but imagine what it could have done for you in your career, and
Mhm.
imagine the concussions that you wouldn't have had in your career if you. What do you think about that?
I think it's amazing. 62% stronger with NeuroGuard Plus. It's really interesting, right, Dr. Hutchinson, how technology and tools that we use in our toolbox, in our tool shed, help us in so many different ways and facets that we don't even think about or don't even realize. And it's so impactful. It's so crazy. And like, wow, 62% stronger. That is just stellar. It's
Just to give you an
stellar.
idea, uh, really, I kind of give this person a lot of credit. He's since passed away, but he was the very first person that I actually made a prototype for, besides my son. But he was really kind of the test that I had faith in, and he was our police chief, fire chief here in Traverse City, Michigan. He was 65 years old, and he loved to bench press, and he got on the USA powerlifting team in the 65-year-old category, and he won a national championship lifting 398 pounds. It was his personal best. He won the championship, and he was invited to Prague at the International uh, Powerlifting Championship. And he was here, and they wrote an article about him in the paper. And I was just kind of starting to put together how could I do this for sports. And I called him up on the phone cold. I didn't know him. I just said, "Hey Ralph, this is Dr. Hutchinson. I don't want you to think I'm a quack doctor or anything, but I can get you your world record tonight." And I was just totally going out of faith because I didn't
Mhm.
really know for sure. I just knew what happened to the patients I was treating. And he was like, "Okay, what do I got to do?" And I said, "Well, just come over. I'll make you this device. Go work out and tell me what happened." Long story short, he was just so ecstatic when he called me, and that I had to slow him down. And he basically described that he started at 398, and he felt really great. So they keep adding weights on it slowly because he didn't want to get hurt. He got up to 455, and he said, "Man, I can do more, but I didn't want to get hurt because the championship is in 6 weeks. I can't afford to do that, so I quit. But I know I could do more." And over that 6 weeks, he got up to 525 pounds. Went over to Prague, broke the world record with a sanctioned lift of 455, and held that record for 10 years. And that was something that he added to what he was doing. He changed nothing else. He just and by the way, his bite and teeth were not the best, and that's how I knew in my heart that I was going to make a difference with him. And he held that record for 10 years, and that just told me that there was a body mechanism that we haven't recognized that could really change everything. And then I went from there and got some St. Louis Blues players, and no concussions that year, had the best seasons, and just evolved into having it tested by the University of uh, Wayne State and their football team, who went on to the national championship of D2, winningest record in the history of the school, no concussions. And the biomedical engineering department wrote a paper on that and presented it as a new discovery in the International Biomedical Conference. Just just from uh, all of that came about from 2000 to 2008.
Dr. Hutchinson, phenomenal interview. This is fantastic. Where can people purchase NeuroGuard Plus? How can they connect with you if they want to do more from a bulk order, group order, talk to you about potentially fitting their entire team?
Everything's on the website. You can reach me at Michael at neuroguardplus.com, and go to the website, uh, www.neuroplus.com. You can order it there. That's the fastest, easiest way to do it. Comes to you in 3 to 4 or 5 days, and make sure that you watch the video on how to fit it, because I should say that it's fit differently than what you're used to. You have you We don't want to know how you can buy it. We want to know where your physiologic jaw position is, and that is only accomplished by your uncontrolled nervous system, or the autonomic nervous system. So basically, you warm it up, you put it on your lower teeth, you bring your lips together like you're going to kiss someone, and you swallow 5 times. That's not controlled by your brain. That's controlled by your body, and that's how you get that imprint of your physiologic jaw position. And so that's really key to that. So when it comes to you, you want to make sure you watch that video, and then it's easy to fit. Within 20 seconds, you can go out, run faster, jump higher, hit the ball farther, and when you get hit in the head, um, the chance is 0.2% that you're going to end up with a concussion.
Ladies and gentlemen, 0.2% chance. That's amazing. Please go to his website, support him. We'll have that information in the show notes. This episode was, of course, sponsored by NeuroGuard Plus and Dr. Michael Hutchinson. And the authentic tip of this great interview: in life, if you want to be great, if you want to achieve what you thought was never possible, you have to step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Hearing this amazing episode, if you're in competitive sports, you have kids in competitive sports, you just do it just for fun, whatever the case may be, daughter, son, whomever, you need to go to NeuroGuard Plus and pick up this amazing mouth guard. I use it. This is a product to help you to position and keep yourself aligned to reduce the possibility of getting a concussion. You need to go and support NeuroGuard Plus and pick up this amazing product. Again, my name is Marques Ogden. I am the host of the Get Authentic with Marques show. Thanks for tuning in. Have a fantastic day.
Keep your head in the game, Marques.